This is 93 Million with Doug Andrew. Welcome to 93 Million with Doug Andrew, where we talk about how to optimize your assets, minimize taxes, and empower the three dimensions of your authentic wealth. My name is Greg Dukwitz, your host, facilitator, and IUL specialist. And in today's show, we're talking about the best way to save on taxes, the swing versus the clubs, and does anybody actually really buy IUL? And we're joined by New York Times bestselling author of The Laser Fund, and the creator of the three dimensions of authentic wealth, Doug Andrew.
Great to be here again, as always.
Good to have you. Co-author of The Laser Fund, an Excel wizard, but someone who's still passionate about old physical calculators, Emran Andrew.
That would be me.
Also co-author of The Laser Fund, the IUL Einstein, and someone who is an old physical calculator, Aaron Andrew.
That's me.
I don't even know what that means, but anyways. and her featured ghost for today, a treasure trove of wisdom, and one of the top IUL specialists in the country, Brandon Johnson.
Howdy. Glad to be here.
Welcome, Brandon. Okay, excited for our segments today. I'm actually very excited. Let's just jump in. What's the best way to save on taxes? Now, gentlemen, if you were to guess, how would the broader financial industry, at large, respond to this question? What would you say? So if I was to Google this question, what will the main answer from Google be, do you think?
The general advice from a financial advisor?
Yes.
Financial advisor?
Put money into an IRA or 401k right now.
Yep.
It's also what our CPAs say, you guys.
Yeah, max them out. Max out those IRAs and 401ks first.
Yep. Okay, that sounds about right. All right, well, in fact, I did Google this question, and indeed, the answer was to sock away money into IRAs and 401ks. In fact, it says that these accounts can reduce your taxable income. Well, that sounds amazing, right? Like, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds great, obviously, but it does come at a price because you have to, quote, withdraw it in retirement when you may be in a lower tax bracket. Now, Doug, is socking away money in IRAs and 401ks all that it's cracked up to be? And do you have some kind of example that could help us understand it better? Obviously, we all have the knee-jerk reaction. Well, yeah, put money in IRAs and 401ks. We just know that's what the financial industry kind of teaches right on its surface right away. That's just extremely common.
Yeah. The problem is that the original premise is still stated, which has not been true, that, defer, postpone, procrastinate.
Yeah, procrastinate.
Paying tax until you retire because you'll likely be in a lower tax bracket, okay? Now, that has not been true or axiomatic for over 30 years. Most savers who actually save money are not in lower tax brackets. And so I like metaphors. I'm not going to use one that I think Brandon here is going to use, but
I'll steal your thunder later.
But it's like people go down the highway of life trying to achieve this destination we call financial independence. And they have one foot on the gas pedal and the other foot on the brake pedal, and they don't even know they're doing it.
Right.
So they're socking away money, and the foot on the gas is deferring to some future perceived unknown advantage. You ask most Americans, though, well, do you think taxes in the long run will likely be lower? No. Get nothing but crickets. Do you think they're going to be the same, one or two? Well, how many think they're going to be higher? And everybody raises their hand. Then I say, well, why are you continuing to postpone, defer, procrastinate to some future perceived unknown advantage and accumulate this big nest egg and then withdraw your money when you're convinced taxes will actually be higher? You want to pay higher taxes on a bigger sum of money. The other foot on the brake pedal is we usually are killing our deductions along the way. Okay, we pay off our house. We don't have those deductions anymore. We're not contributing money to IRAs or 401ks in retirement. We don't have those deductions. Our kids are gone. Or if they move back in as adults, we can't deduct them anymore. If we had a business and we sold it, we don't have those deductions anymore. And Congress keeps raising taxes. Okay?
Yep.
So, no, I think I think most Americans are duped into putting money into those. And so I want to use an example here. Here, several episodes ago, I used this fisherman's riddle, okay? And we had a lot of people comment on that. Well, I've got another one here for you, so get ready.
Here we go. Strap it on.
I've got a visual for our audience.
Buckle up.
Okay, before we get there, though, yeah, so when people would come to me, I've been doing this for over 5 decades, at retirement, at retirement planning is something totally different than what you did for retirement planning. And I would tell them, oh, bring your after-tax IRA 401k statements with you for the first appointment. And they would go, after tax? I knew they didn't have it.
I love that.
So I'd have to calculate
so
and go,
funny.
well, they'd come in, we have, $1 million there. And I said,
What about your
I
after-tax
have to
statement?
be the bearer of bad news. That's not all your money, okay? Only about maybe 700,000 of that is yours. The rest belongs to the government, okay? The government has a permanent tax lien on those IRAs or 401ks, right? So, so sometimes we add up what we think the benefits are without subtracting the impact of taxes, inflation, market volatility. So here's the riddle. You ready?
Yep.
And it's really just a true math equation. Now, listen close. A bat and a ball together costs $1.10. Okay.
Okay.
So together they cost $1.10.
Yeah.
The second fact is the bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost?
Now, if you're brave and you want to put this in the comments in the YouTube video, please do. Put it in the
simply
How
comments.
much does the ball
Simply
cost?
put,
And then
it,
see
a
if
bat
you're
and a
right.
ball costs $1.10. The bat costs $1 more than the
ball.
ball.
Okay.
How
Yeah.
much does the ball cost?
How much did the
Okay.
ball cost?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, you got an answer there? How many of you said 10 cents? Wrong. Okay. Now I love people go, what? So I love
Some angry people out there
the
right now.
T-shirt. I love the T-shirt that says, "Well, another day," and I haven't used algebra once. Okay. So, without even going into an algebraic calculation here, what did you learn in elementary arithmetic? You check your math. You check your math. Okay.
Right. Right.
So if you say the ball costs 10 cents, and if the bat costs $1 more than the ball,
What's a
Right.
dollar? What's a dollar
what's a
more?
dollar
than
more than
10
10 cents? $1.10.
And not
Yeah,
a
that
not
would
a
have to cost
dollar.
Not a dollar. A dollar.
Not a
10.
dollar. It's $1.10. $1 more than 10 cents. Is
Yeah,
$1.10.
$1 more than the ball. The ball costs
Yeah.
10 cents. The bat would have to cost $1.10. $1.10 bat plus a 10-cent ball equals $1.20. So it can't be. So, you can use trial and error and without doing the algebra and say, well, what if the ball costs 5 cents? Okay. 5-cent ball
Yep.
and a bat costs $1 more. That would be
$1.05.
$1.05 bat, and that equals $1.10.
Okay.
The answer is 5 cents. Now, if you didn't get that, don't feel bad. Most CPAs flunked that question on an exam, okay?
Right.
It
Yes.
sounds so
But the
simple.
point
and
is
everyone's
this.
I know.
We get fooled. We think that this IRA 401k is the cat's meow, and we think it's worth this, and then it comes to retirement, and it's only worth this. Okay, and
Yeah.
sometimes metaphorically, I'll show an apple or a pizza, and then I'll show after Uncle Sam comes in and takes his big bites out of it. Look, it's very unappetizing.
Yeah. Well, like, and even that Google response said you save money on tax. That was the first part of the equation. If we're going to put it in riddle form, is sock money in an IRA or 401k because you save on tax. But what's the other part of the equation? Emron, you're going to go to the wisdom table for us.
Dude, I do want to go to the wisdom table.
Let's
because
go.
I love the math on this, okay? So I love the math. And so I actually just did this really quickly here. So if we go to the wisdom table, if we pull that up right there, we're going to take a look at this because we're going to say if you do go ahead and start socking away money into an IRA or 401k. And you've got, right now, if you put money away into an IRA or 401k, and let's say, you're 30 years of age, okay? So if you're 30 years of age, you can sock away up to $7,000 a year. That's the maximum contribution to an IRA or 401k.
Okay.
And if you've got a $200,000 to $300,000 income, you're trying to save taxes, paying taxes on that kind of income. So you're knocking off $7,000 off of your income. That means you're going to save. Right here. You're going to be saving about $1,680 a year in taxes. That's your tax savings. Okay, so your tax savings is about $1,680 a year. Okay, if I do that now for 43 years until I'm age 73,
Right.
Do that times 43 years, you're going to sit here and you're going to have about $80,000 in tax savings.
That sounds pretty good.
Okay, he's got $80,000 in tax savings. But now at age 73, you're hit with obviously you're retiring, and you're going to be nailed if you don't touch your money. You have to access your money because you're subject to something called a RMD. Okay, you're subject to an RMD, and this $7,000
Or required minimum distribution.
Yep.
If
you're curious.
I mean, this $7,000 has grown to a nice, a $2.1 million. And some people will call that a retirement account. I call that a $2 million tax trap.
A lot of
$2
tax
million
liability on
tax
that.
trap. Because right here on this right here, you're going to have to pull out at least, your RMD alone is going to be $80,000. Okay? It's a little over $80,408, but let's just go with the $80,000.
Okay.
So if you have to pull out $80,000 right here, okay, you pull out that 80 grand, taxes on that $80,000 alone is going to be just under 20 grand. Okay, you're going to owe about $20,000.
Wow.
Yeah, you might have moved from a 24% tax bracket down to a 22% tax bracket, but you're still paying $20,000 in taxes. Mm-hmm. So if you pay $20,000 in taxes, how many years in retirement does it take you to pay back every dime you saved?
About 4 years.
It's going to take, yeah, and that's assuming that taxes don't go up.
Right.
That's assuming if you have Social Security and a pension on top of this, I mean, it just continues. And even if you're even a higher income tax bracket, I mean, you look at it for a 401k. 401ks let you sock away even more. Even a bigger tax trap.
Right.
I mean, you can sock away $23,500 a year until I hit age 50, and then you're able to go up to $31,000 a year until you're 60, and then you got a couple of years where you're able to do $34,750, and then it drops back down to $31,000. Okay, but I'm going to go between $21,000 and basically $31,000. Okay, I'm going to do that all the way until I'm age 73 again. Okay. So if you do that to age 73, once again, you're going to hit with it. Most financial advisors say, hey, you would have a beautiful $7.4 million retirement account.
But that's not from your after-tax statement.
Yeah, show me your after-tax statement. That's why you look at the after-tax statement on there. That's a $7.4 million tax trap. Because once again, if you go to your RMD on that, okay, your RMD alone on this required minimum distribution at age 73 is going to be $281,000. Okay, not $201,000, $281,000.
Nice.
So you got $281,000 in income right there.
That's
I mean, is that going to put you in a lower tax bracket? No, in fact, on top of Social Security and everything else, that's going to force you into a 24 or even a 32% tax bracket. But even if you stayed in a 24% tax bracket, you're going to owe, you're going to owe at least $67,000 or more. I'm being generous here. I mean, you could owe $67,000 or more in taxes. I mean, and it took you, and again, on this, sorry, I even forgot to tell you, hey, on that $7.4 million, by the way, you saved $300,000 in total taxes.
Right.
That's what your tax savings was. Okay, tax savings. Okay, that's your tax savings. And this $67,000 is your yearly tax bill. I mean, that's crazy. 67. I mean, again, 4 years into retirement, I've paid back the $300,000, and every 4 years after that, I'm going to keep on repaying it.
That's amazing.
So,
a lot of taxes.
That's a lot of taxes.
Saving money into an IRA 401k does not save you taxes.
Just procrastinates.
It procrastinates the tax, exactly.
If it saved you taxes, it means you would never have to pay them.
Yes, see, that's the point.
You don't get away with not paying them under the Internal Revenue Code. If you want to get rid of not paying them, you get into something like an IUL, or maybe even consider a Roth. But once again, you look at the IUL, where your compound interest, the miracle of 93 million, is not subject to those taxes.
Yeah, why don't
they
say tax delaying instead of tax saving?
Yeah,
right?
I know.
I can show you how to.
They try to say tax deferred, but it's
tax savings. No, you're tax delaying.
Yes, but that would be a CPA.
Yeah.
I mean, that because they're always telling you, yeah, I just saved you so much in taxes. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
I delayed.
I can show you.
I delayed.
Well, even that Google response, that's what it said. You save tax by putting money. You don't save tax. You just delay it.
But I would teach CPA and tax attorneys, and I'd say, how many of you advise your clients just to take RMDs?
Yeah, right.
Why do you do that? So they'll save in taxes. I
by
said,
putting it on.
that's very short-sighted. Another word for that is
Myopic.
myopic. Yeah, that's very nearsighted. Yeah, you think you're saving tax, but not in the long run. You add up RMDs, and you're not saving tax. You're postponing, procrastinating, and compounding the tax.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the whole seed in the harvest. You know, if I was a farmer, we've said this before,
Yeah.
and you want to pay your tax on you had a choice to pay your taxes on your seed in the springtime or your big harvest. That's exactly what Emmer just showed on the board.
Yeah.
Paying taxes on the big harvest down the road. But I tell you, when I get clients coming to me, they are always stressing when they're in their 60s and they come to us because they're worried about this big tax problem they're going to have. Okay, those that are already in tax-free in IUL, life insurance with the tax-free like we do, or Roth, they're not worried about the taxes. It's so much peace of mind. Where in retirement, they're stressing about all the taxes when they have IRAs and 401ks.
Well, and if I'm a farmer, like I want to know if the IRS shows up, I'm getting ready to plant my crops, and they say, hey, I can tax you on this now, and then you can own all of the harvest,
Right.
or you just plant it, and then we'll come back at the harvest and we'll take our cut. I want to know, well, what does that cut look like?
Right.
We don't know. We'll,
Yeah.
we'll figure it out when we get there. So
Yeah.
I don't know where the taxes are going to be.
Because we have $37 trillion of debt
Yeah.
right now. And if you think taxes are going to go up down the road, which I
If I'm
certainly
in my
do.
40s and that I might be, taking that harvest 20 years from now,
Right.
or 30 years from now, where is that going to be? That's an unknown that I don't know if I want to roll the dice on.
Right.
And people keep getting stuck. When they come to us, they get stuck thinking, oh, if I pay the taxes, though, I'm going to have to recover that money later. I got to wait and recover that because I had to pay all of Uncle Sam. No, it's not yours in the first place.
Yeah, you will have to. The government is not stupid. They are really good and efficient when it comes to collecting your money.
Yeah. You're gonna pay those taxes at some point.
That's where they're really good.
They'd rather tax you when you have the money than when you don't have the money.
That's right. That's another story for another day. All right. Well, coming up, would $67,000 of golf clubs make you a better golfer?
I'm interested. I'm interested.
But first, just a reminder that if you enjoy this content and you want to see more of it, please like and subscribe and ask us a question or comment. Will $66,000 in clubs make you a better golfer? So I was digging around, in the internet, and I came across this article from the Times about a man who purchased an average of 15 new golf club sets each year in an effort to get better at golf. So the article was titled, How Does a Bad Golfer Try to Reduce His Handicap? Buy 3,000 clubs. Not $3,000 of clubs, 3,000 clubs.
Wow.
And it didn't work. So
Wait, it doesn't work?
it doesn't
Oh,
work.
I have no hope then.
Sorry, that was the punchline. Yes. He spent 50,000 pounds or about 66,000 US dollars amassing his collection, but when the very best of equipment failed to make his swing any sweeter or his drives any longer, he tossed them aside in disgust. Apparently, when he died at the age of 69, his collection filled 2 large sheds behind his home in Dunblane, Perthshire, from floor to ceiling.
Ouch. Ouch.
Wow, right? We often talk about the swing versus the clubs, but we do it kind of as it relates to finances. I just thought this story was really hilarious. But, what does that actually mean, the swing versus the clubs? Emran, let's start with you.
Well, I'm feeling a little deflated right now. I was hoping I could buy my way into a good golf score.
A U.S. An Open or something.
Yeah, I don't even need to make I just want a good golf. I just need a good golf score. I want to be able to write now. Yeah, you look at it all the time. You break it down into that simple metaphor.
Yeah.
That, my dad likes to use all the time. If you were to enter into a professional golf tournament this next weekend, what would you rather enter that tournament with? Would you rather have somebody like Scotty Scheffler's clubs, or would you rather have Scotty Scheffler's swing?
His swing.
Swing.
Of course. It's so easy when you ask it that way.
His swing is what's worth tens of millions of dollars. The secret's not if the secret were actually the clubs, we'd all do
Right.
what?
We'd be good golfers like
Yeah,
him.
we'd all
That's
go buy
right.
clubs and become professional golfers
Yeah.
if it was that
And
easy.
I'm willing to bet if you gave Scotty Scheffler like the worst clubs out there, he would still
Oh,
do,
absolutely.
like phenomenal.
Dude,
Yeah.
he, could
Yeah.
he could break a stick off of the tree and out golf you.
Good point. I'd love to see that actually.
Oh man, I wouldn't deny it. I
He
wouldn't.
gets
deny
like
it.
a walking stick and he just beats everybody in golf.
He can use a hockey stick the whole time. and still
Yeah, a
be
hockey
good.
puck.
But I mean, that's the point. I mean, especially when you look at this with financial services. When you look at your financial, do you have a financial strategy, or do you just go out there and willy nilly buy this asset, buy that stock, buy that bond? It's not the stock or the bond that's going to make you the money. It's
Right.
going to be, do you have a strategy? Do you have
Yeah.
a swing? And what is your strategy? A lot of people just don't even have a strategy. They're blindly going about doing things. And, you look at it all the time. Your success is mostly going to come into, do you have a strategy, and is it sound? Does it violate the rules? Like, does it violate Warren Buffett's number one rule of money? Are you, in your strategy, are you going to lose money? Do you have
Which
a
is?
strategy to avoid losses?
Which is
Lose money.
Yeah, don't lose
Don't
money.
lose money.
Yeah,
Well,
don't lose money.
Number 2 is?
Don't forget rule number one.
Right. So, what are your strategies around that? I mean, I always talk about the 3 things affluent people want to do. They want to make sure they don't lose. They may want to make sure that they grow their money. They still want to grow their money, but then they ask the final question that most people don't ask. So, I don't want to lose. I want to grow, and I want to keep it.
Yeah,
How do I keep it from taxes?
right.
How do I keep my hard-earned money?
Yes. Keep
So,
off,
what is strategy?
off the radar of
What
the government.
strategy do you have to address those 3 questions? How are you not going to lose? How are you going to make money? And how are you going to keep
How are
it?
you going to keep it? Because if you lose it, then why did you make it?
Yeah. So you better have a strategy that can answer those 3 questions with confidence.
All right. Aaron, swing versus clubs. Go.
Okay. Well, basically, I would say that clients, and they come to us. This is the important thing: is looking at their overall situation, and again, not picking like this annuity or this or that. It's like Emron was saying: is it's like, okay, what are you trying to accomplish in retirement?
Right.
What are you after? What's your biggest fears? What are you trying to accomplish? And finding that out to then get the swing correct for what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And not every plan's the same. Not every client situation is the same. Not every plan's a cookie cutter plan.
Because not every goal is the same, right? Some
Right.
clients have
Yeah.
different goals than others.
So it's all going to be different, going to be catered to that client as far as what they're looking for. And that's why I help we help clients realize it's is not the same for everybody. There's not like one magic, club that's going to make you, be perfect at golf. So we got to look at your situation and what are your fears, what are your risks, what do you want to accomplish, and what do we have to work with?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Brandon, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think just to go along with what Aaron's saying is that there's not, one silver bullet that is like magical. I mean, everybody's situation is different. So when people do ask that, like, well, what's the best thing? I guess the answer is always it depends. Like, it depends on what is it you're trying to accomplish? What are your fears? What are you worried about? What keeps you up at night? Do you have people that count on you, that depend on you, that's going to be their situation pretty much forever? Or, is your situation different, right? And so it's understanding the attributes of each financial type of product. I mean, you mentioned like an annuity, right? And some people are like, I hate annuities. And other people are like, oh, this is perfect. This is what I need. And, we're huge advocates. It's not a secret of IUL, properly structured IULs. And so we are a firm of specialists that design them specifically on what the client's needs are, right? I want to be in a low tax bracket in retirement. I want to transfer monthly money and assets tax-free to my family and create a legacy, right?
Yeah.
And so we design plans that are specific to that. I want to protect assets. I'm worried about the market. I know we're in a big run-up, but people start feeling like, hey, that can't last forever. What should I be doing to protect, right? And so we design and we do the swing based on what's the best thing for your situation and what you're trying to accomplish. And IULs, they're out there, right? And people say, hey, look, I've heard of people that bought an IUL and didn't work out. You can structure them the wrong way. You want to make sure you're working with a firm and a specialist that understands the ins and outs, the mechanics of an IUL and how to structure it to maximize and optimize every dollar that's going in there.
That's the swing right there.
Yeah, that's the swing.
Structuring the policy correctly.
Yeah, and an IOL specialist is like part of that swing. Having an IOL specialist in your corner is part of that
and
swing.
we have receipts.
It's a strategy,
we
like
can
Aaron
show,
was saying.
we can show, countless statements of clients from years and years and years.
And we do see plenty of other sites
I was going to
segments.
show one today, you guys. I'll make it quick. So I have a client that's been a client since 2008. You know, I know the numbers on the top of my head because I just looked at it because we were thinking to show. We'll
Yeah.
show it next time.
Yeah.
But real quick, it's like, yeah, she's in her 80s now, but this policy now has $3.3 million of death benefit. She's got 2.8, I think I said,
Mhm.
2.8,
Yeah,
$2.9 million in there. The fees are 10 grand a year. Okay, she's in her 80s. So, and that's not a bad cost because the difference between 2.8 and 3.3, that difference of 500 grand is what they're paying for in cost of insurance. Because
Right.
she dies, yes, they're going to pay out an extra 500,000 on top of her 2.8 million.
Right.
All tax free. But because we did the swing correctly, we structured it right. Their money grew and compounded. They put in like $1.2 million into this. They added a couple hundred thousand in the last few years. So that's been more recently. But with that, it's grown tax free. They've never paid any taxes. That's the swing, getting it done right. Now, this client hasn't needed to take it, so they didn't need it. So guess what happens?
It just,
Just
keeps,
keeps
on
growing.
compounding.
Did they have to take
it'll
out
get
RMDs?
transferred.
The full,
Yeah.
nope,
No RMDs.
No RMDs
they're
needed.
in full control.
Tax free, and when she passes away, they gets 3.3 million. But if the cash value grows too close to that 3.3, which it will in another couple of years,
Right.
the death benefit will push up tax free.
That's a great point.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
And those fees may sound like a lot, $10,000, but in reality, compared to the 2.8 million, that's actually a really small percentage wise.
Fair, and with guarantees they can't lose. And again, the fees could be more like 3,000.
Yeah,
2 to 3,000 if we drop the death benefit down. But they like that insurance.
which they've chosen not
She
to
was
do.
paying
now.
a 1%
Yeah.
management fee on that.
Yeah,
Well,
that'd be
I mean,
like
well,
28 grand, right?
Yeah,
28
exactly.
grand and money at risk.
$10,000, that covers all the fees. Plus, financial
All.
advisor would cost me $40,000.
Right.
And it's giving me insurance. I got
Yes.
$500,000 extra
That's-
money coming.
that's
that
a
I'm
great
getting. I'm
point.
$500,000,
Yep.
10 grand in order to get 500,000.
Such a good
She's in a
point.
concerted account, so she made like what 200,000. Let's say this last year, I think she made 250,000 of interest,
Okay.
and she'd pay taxes on that if that was in another account.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
we'd pay about, what would that be? Maybe 50 to 70 grand in taxes at least, and she's paying zero taxes.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Yeah.
10,000 in fees divided into 2.8
Yep.
is about one
Like a
third
third.
of 1%.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. About a third
Yeah.
of a percent. It's pretty amazing.
Pretty cool.
Tune in to a future show if you want to see that statement. We'll show it off. We'll show it again. So, Doug, wrap us up on this segment. Final thoughts.
Well, I've had several thoughts come to me. Most recently, when you're talking about the advisor fees, of course, advisors like you to have money in there because they charge you their asset management fee on the whole amount.
Right.
Not only your portion, but
But
Uncle
the government's
Sam's
portion, too.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
So it's like 50% more
Yes.
when 1/3 goes out.
Great point.
Yeah. So the swing in the clubs, so that everybody viewing this understands, it's the difference between the swing, which is a strategy we've been calling it, versus a commodity. Okay. So, for example, our favorite vehicle is indexed universal life. Okay. Now that's
Still a club.
a club, but
Mhm.
it's how it is structured correctly and funded properly.
Right.
So the strategy using indexing and rebalancing, that is the strategy. That's the swing, which is so critical. Because if you set one up wrong, then it's not going to be able to accomplish that. Now, an index mutual fund. Some people think that indexed universal life is simply a permanent life insurance policy wherein the cash values are invested in an index mutual fund. No. If you had that money in the S&P 500 index during the Great Recession or from 2000 to 2012, you would have lost 40% twice. Clients who had a properly structured IUL, they didn't lose in 2001 to 2003 or 2008. And they came through with flying colors. $1 million grew to 2.5 to 3 million, where most Americans in the market were barely back to break even after 12 years. So let me just say this. We've been using the golf metaphor here. So in the golf game of life, we have the front nine.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started out this whole podcast talking about the back nine and why an IRA 401k during the back nine holes of life. When you go to retire, the harvest, we called it, what's better? If you're going to be paying taxes through the nose, no. Emran illustrated how much money you're going to shell out in tax on the back end.
Yeah.
And so it'd be better to handle it on the front end. But when you use the proper swing, and we tell you which clubs to use. But I remember a movie, Kevin Costner,
Mhm.
and I think it was Tin Cup.
Tin Cup.
Tin Cup. And if you've never seen it, he goes about the entire round of golf and proves that he can play every stroke in every hole with a 7-iron.
Wow.
And what does he do? He takes that club and he changes, of course, the pitch, depending on if he's going to be pitching it or if he's going to be driving it or even putting. And he played, it was an incredible game, and he used just one club, proving it's not really the club that matters, it's the swing.
Yeah.
And that's the whole key point here. And so we use Max Funded IUL as a club, but the way we use it is different. The angle we take is different if it's for college funding, estate planning. You want to maximize the death benefit, okay,
Yeah.
or minimize
Tax-free
minimize the
income.
death benefit.
Yep.
Or what are you trying to do? You want to maximize
Preservation.
what you leave behind,
Right.
or you want to maximize your tax-free income?
Yeah.
It's just amazing. We call it the dream solution.
Yeah, the swing versus the clubs.
Yep.
So. But don't go buy $67,000 worth of golf clubs. It's probably not going to improve your swing. All right. Well, coming up, what does anyone who actually buys an IUL? Okay. But if you're enjoying this content and are wondering how to take advantage of these ideas, Laser Financial helps individuals and families like yours implement proven strategies to grow and protect your wealth. One of the most popular tools is an Index Universal Life Policy, or IUL. It's not just insurance, it's a tax-free retirement strategy, or swing, a way to grow your money with compound interest and a safety net against market downturns. Imagine being protected from market losses while still participating when the market goes up and having tax-free income that allows you to keep more of what you've worked so hard to save. Go to laserfinancial.com or call 801-505-0409 to schedule a free consultation and see how these strategies can work for you. That's laserfinancial.com or call 801-505-0409. Don't wait. Take the first step toward a brighter, more secure financial future today. Are you a financial professional wondering how you can expand your business working with IUL? Are you leveraging IUL to its full potential? That's where IUL Insiders comes in. In the upcoming weeks, they're hosting the IUL Challenge. It's a free 3-day event designed specifically for financial professionals to help you build a thriving, scalable business that sets you apart from the competition. You'll learn proven strategies to market, design, and sell properly structured policies that deliver incredible results for your clients and for your bottom line. If you're ready to elevate your practice and scale your business, visit IULchallenge.com/93 to save your seat. Spots are limited, so don't wait. That's IULchallenge.com/93. Take your business to the next level. Question of the day. Our question of the day comes from Juan on YouTube, who says, is anybody actually using an IUL? It seems the only people talking about them are trying to sell you one. Okay. All right. Fair enough, Juan. We'll take on that question. Aaron, how would you respond to this question?
Well, one thing I would say is IUL, for some people that have never heard about it, it sounds like brand new.
Yeah.
But this is very common in our industry, in the financial services industry. IUL is extremely popular. It came out in 1997. But let's just look at the stats. Let's go, let's show the stats here of LIMRA. Said, right here on the screen, you can see that in the first quarter of this year, 2025, $3.9 billion in total life insurance sales,
Yep.
and about almost $1 billion of that, $959 million, was IUL. That was an 11% increase from the previous quarter. All right, and now next, you look at the next one, the next quarter, second quarter of 2025, it actually went up to $1.2 billion, a 31% increase. Those are huge
Wow.
increases quarter over quarter.
It's amazing.
And third quarter is on
massive.
track to be another record breaker. So every quarter, it's breaking records.
Yeah.
It's just up, 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 up. So IUL is extremely popular. There's a lot of people talking about it. And yeah, we've been doing this for a long time since IUL first came out. Right,
Yeah.
Dad?
Absolutely. And, Emran posts every single month, a dozen, two, I think this last month, 30 IUL policies, the actual performance and so forth.
Yeah.
We could post hundreds, if not thousands, of IUL policy holders that are actually getting results. So,
There's-
yeah.
There's billions of dollars in IUL. And these companies, it's a bigger market share of their, and it's a good thing. Big volume means what, you guys? We know big volume helps out with competition,
Yes.
new designs, new
love
features, new products.
Yeah.
New companies coming out with IUL, which makes other companies, say, okay, we need to come out with a new bell and whistle and this and that. And so it's a
Such a good
very,
point.
very good thing.
It's a great point because as it increases in popularity, more companies try to compete with each other to outdo each other with the bigger, better policy or the clubs, right? But better in kind of competing.
And we've seen that through our years, through our years of selling IUL, that these features are so awesome and that the companies are coming out with these days.
Yeah.
Brandon, I think there's some guy that's actually over the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Yeah, you think you know a little bit of a thing about money,
Yeah,
right?
Atkins,
Yeah.
something.
Boom.
Right there.
Oh yeah. He
And
only
what does he have?
He only has
Yeah.
54 IUL policies.
Only 54. Okay, let's just.
So-
That's amazing, by the way. That's
Wow.
remarkable.
But I think
54 life insurance policies.
54 insurance policies, and many of them a variation known as universal or IUL as
I think
well.
it's okay to say that they're not for everybody, though. I think you have to be to answer your question. I
Yes.
think you have to be a good saver.
Yeah.
Right? And how
Yeah.
many Americans do you know that are like really good savers?
Right.
Or you have to be somebody who has been a good saver that has assets put away that we
And
can.
you're
then-
trying to solve a tax
Yes.
problem.
Now they're like, oh my gosh, I got to pay tax on all this money. What are my options?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And these are the people we help out. We love working with people that are disciplined savers, right?
Yes.
And if you know people like that, like they probably have come across, they're exploring, like, what should I do with my money? I'm saving it
Yeah.
now. What should I do with it? I want to protect it. I want it to be tax advantaged. Those are the people that we work with in IUL. So if you think about like across the board, all of America, we're not great savers, right? People are
Yeah.
in debt. So it's not for everybody.
Right. And you mentioned a disciplined saver, but would you also add, if I threw out to you, disciplined in education? In other words,
Sure.
do you need to be invested in the education of how it works instead of just trusting somebody? We did a segment on Trust Me Bro a while ago, right?
Yeah.
And just trusting someone, oh, yeah, I'm just going to do this just because. Do you need to be invested in how it works? Should you do that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those make the best clients, right? They've
Yeah.
done some research.
Taking ownership.
They can
Yeah.
Yeah, people that come to us, the Laser Financial, and to do this, the best are those that read the Laser Fund.
You're taking
So-
some kind of interest in your own future.
Yeah.
Like read our book, read the Laser Fund.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's a
read the
great
book and read those chapters in there, especially chapters, I would say 5 through 10.
Yep.
That will help you understand this better than most advisors, inside the Laser Fund book. And that helps you to get that education that you're talking about.
Yep.
He only says 5 to 10 because that's where he contributed the most.
The whole book is
Just
great.
kidding. I'm
That's
just
that's
teasing
the
you.
meat of the book.
Well, you can decide for yourself at laserfund.com. So that's the good news there. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Save on tax, focus on the swing, not the clubs, and we'll see you next time on 93 Million. Thanks, everybody.
Everybody.